So, what would you think about what I'd like to see happen is to put sort of a moratorium on making any decisions until we build membership, and Rodney has offered to help with that. And he's got a newspaper.
I know, I heard
And I think as we network with him more, when we met with Maya Crane about applying for a grant, she specifically said that she wanted him and Lentori Johnson to be at the forefront of applying for the grant, because the grant was about building membership, diversity, and making sure that the membership here is representative of all the neighborhoods. Because right now we're definitely 19th Ward strong.
Yes. See the new logo?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah. Kate did it.
Kate is good, man. I gotta connect with her. Kate, are you connected to Kate?
I've saw her. She's the one with the kind of blondish hair.
Yeah, we need to get with her because she's like a communications wizard.
Yeah.
And actually, maybe that's something you can help us with. One of the things that was on this list for communications was a website, or doing some kind of presence. And I don't know. I think Location Southwest is actually our presence. I don't see why.
Well, it would be nice to have something that really gets you to the main page, and the main page is everything of the
so Southwest County
organization.
Council, and then direct people to Location Southwest. All right. So I think actually, if no one's here by 6:30, that's what we should do. We should just decide that based on this.
Yes, we can. If that's if we don't have more people come here, so that we can actually do something, we can talk for a while, and make sure
Well,
that.
that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I wanted to get your input on that. And I just think that okay, so RICF, Rochester Area Community Foundation, would like to have strong involvement from Rodney in particular, and so. And he's agreeable to that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So we're going to meet next Wednesday at 5 o'clock before the Education Committee meeting, and we're going to talk about what would a grant look like.
$2,000 grant.
The $2,000 grant. Like, what could we do to market ourselves in the neighborhood? So one of the things I wanted to know what you guys thought about that restaurant idea, is going to the people in the neighborhood who have businesses and seeing about them bringing their dinners or whatever here, a sampling of their food here, so that, because I think one of the things that people miss is the food that used to be at meetings, and then bring them in to do their meetings. We get to know who's in the neighborhood, and we have food. Instead of buying just anything for food.
Speak up, we might as well record this.
So I wanted to know
Good.
your thoughts on that, because that would be one of the things that comes up next Wednesday. Although Lentori said she'd like to see the history of the foods connected to, and it doesn't even have to, that can be off the table too. That doesn't even have to be a consideration. It can, because that would eat up.
I always like
Eat up.
I know we have to do something, but it's just.
What are your thoughts, Rodney?
What you just were speaking about, food?
That, and do you think that's a necessary thing, or?
Well, I don't know if it's necessary, but I do know it's a compliment. And like you mentioned before, it seems to get more people coming in more regularly, because I know I have attended some symposiums that lasted for weeks, and they would cater food from certain places, and we used to go there when we finished work on the weekdays, and people used to come make sure they're there, and they used to even be there early because they want to get the food.
Right.
Because
Right.
they probably ain't ate all day at work since lunch.
Right.
Still, they come straight there, and because they know food is there,
Right.
and therefore, and so it always had good attendance, I think, and one of the reasons was because of food. But that is something that worked in that place. I don't know about how it's going to
Would
do
it work
here.
here?
Would it work here? Right. So, food is I see personally is a magnet.
Draw.
It is a magnet. It's a draw. It's a draw.
Well, I thought it would do two things. One is be the draw, but also educate people as to what local food people we have. And if we're trying to be diverse, that like I know the Rotary is doing Taste of the Islands. But I'm sure that there are other people here who would like to have us eat at their restaurants. So it wouldn't have to be just Caribbean.
Right. There's plenty of diversity in restaurants.
Yeah.
Right. So probably, I think some of the restaurants would probably be happy to do it. I think that a lot of these restaurants feel that they're a part of the community, and if I think that we are coming at them and want to really show them that we want to put a good push at, making sure that this community have a voice.
Yeah.
And, I think they'd be happy to feed the workers. That's what I think. That's what always I got out of it. Just helping out politicians in the neighborhood. That's what I always got out of it. I always saw that, businesses felt that they were a part of the community. They felt that they was involved with making sure that this community have a voice. And I think that's what we represent. I think that what we say, Southwest Common Council, we're here to plan and advocate for this community, to give a voice to it. So,
So.
And I think that those things that about us, that's where the marketing part comes in. That those things about the Southwest Common Council and what it's trying to do got to be more pronounced to the people in the community, because there's two key words: plan and advocate for the community. Those are big, because that's saying that we here to give you guys a voice when something goes wrong or something needs to go better. So I think that things like that needs to be more pronounced. I think that we need to just like neighborhood schools. I think that the Southwest quadrant need to show the importance of it. Like everybody's go to one school and they're the Eagle, so everybody's an Eagle. Everybody when that's December. Everybody love that. I'm an Eagle. So I think we need to bring that type of fraternity, sorority, however you want to call it. We need to bring that type of energy back, saying that I'm from the Southwest and we have these beautiful things going on over here, and we're going to have more beautiful things going on over here. And with your help, we can make it faster, and we probably can do it better. I think we need to speak more about getting those type of positive vibes out about the Southwest quadrant. And I named my newspaper Southwest Tribune because my love for the community, the Southwest area. I could have had another jazzy name where I could have probably branded myself a whole lot more. But I chose the pigeonhole myself, but still say I can be successful, because I felt that Southwest quadrant was instrumental in this whole coming from downtown all the way through. I think that the Southwest is a good representation of it, and so it is that we got to put out more things. And in my writing, always, be feeding before my newspaper, wait for other news outlets. My niche was to go out in the community and get the community stories, get those people who don't hardly have a voice so they can say, and by good things is happening. I look for positive stories. I don't look for negative stories. Right, I look for positive stories. So I think that we start pushing that a little more, which, I do tons of story I have about this, I have done over the years, but, being that I'm probably going to be more involved now, I'm going to be looking to do that. And I think that we need to kind of like look for a strategy, how all of us can be a promoter of it, and how we can come together and put together a ground game, how we can probably put some mail-ins out to certain people, to people in the neighborhoods all over, send out through the mail list. We can send it to them and word it a different way this time. Word it the way that I'm speaking upon now, and send that out to them and letting them know why we're here and why we're fighting, and what can become if you get involved. So I think we need to have those type of things going out to the community, or some type of way. Let's get in some way we can get in the front of their face, more than me blasting it through the newspaper and other ways. And find a way that all of us can do it at the same time. And another good way we can do it is that we can, the same people that we go to for the food, we can partner with the businesses in the Southwest Quarter, so we can say, when your customers come in, could you hand these things out to them, let them know, what we're doing here when we're meeting, and how it's important for them to get involved. And as we make these businesses understand that we are here for voicing them, because the businesses need us more than anyone when it comes to economic development and getting people here, so people can, go to their businesses and buy their products and buy their services. So we all in the same ship. So I think that we can get the businesses on to help us do a lot of promoting, because a lot of people frequently travel through their places, and there's other things like that. I'm pretty sure as I keep talking, I can just come up with ideas, but that's what it takes to just take the bump ideas together, and then you might say something right now, and then somebody else might spark an idea, but
Right. Get people talking.
Right, but marketing is one of my things too. And I know that marketing, grassroots marketing, is the most powerful marketing ever, especially when you're trying to market community support. And that means getting in front of the businesses and getting in front of the institutions that help the people in the community, and those large institutions that brings in people at a great rate. Get in with St. Mary's and a lot of other places that's in the community. Have University of Rochester start doing some more things for us out of one of their departments. It is bringing people together. I think that's the biggest thing, is bringing people together who are already stakeholders in the community, and helping them help us. And that's the big thing about it. So just getting a strategy, let's get a list. Let's say, hey, this business, this business, this business, this business, and we visit these businesses. It wouldn't take me nothing, even if it take me a month. But when I ride around town, okay, I might visit these two businesses because I'm passing by today. I go in there and talk to them and really get them on board. And some of them I probably can give a call who I probably know more better. But ones I don't know, I probably want to make a little interest in. But that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do.
Membership.
Yes, we're gonna definitely need we gonna need a lot more membership to do that. But
Committed
Committed membership.
People that show up, but they've got to have a reason to show up. And unfortunately, sometimes that only happens when there's a problem. And then they need a place to go to get some support. And that's kind of what we function on. Although there's a lot of things we've been doing where we've been proactive when it comes to the school stuff. John's very involved with the school stuff, but we also, like, twice a week are sending out, you get them, like, notices about what's going on in the neighborhood. And I just learned that there, at least one person, I know that there's several people, but John Lightfoot also sends them out, and it looks like 30 or 40 more people get them when we send them out. So we really have a lot of information that goes a lot of places with just one email.
Yeah, whether people read it or not when it comes in their inbox is another question, but
Yeah, although lately I've been having people stop and tell me, hey, thanks for sending this. And I never knew that, who was it, the St. Peter and Paul soup kitchen. I met her somewhere. And she said, oh, you're Eleanor Coleman? I get your emails. And she says they're really helpful at the soup kitchen because she can hand the resources out. And so I know that there's people, and even if it was just 5 people that get information that they can spread out, fine. You know, because it's, whether I send it to 450 or 5, it's one keystroke.
I think, kind of backing up a little bit about the community association, I know what Kate is trying to do with our newsletter like that, is trying to get more people to tell more positive things or more things that are going on, so she can put that in the newsletter. So it's just not so, Zola does her thing and then we make a list of all of the restaurants in the area or something like that. So she's working on something like that to get more people involved, or at least interested in where we are. I mean, I love it here, and I have some heritage here, in the 19th Ward, and I talk it up as much as I can. I hear people from my friends from Pittsburgh talk about all the music series they have. I said, well, we have Beats at Brooks. What is that? So I tell them what it is. So it's just, we just need to let more people know what we have to offer here. Just the Arnett Library, the stuff for the kids and like that. Like tomorrow there's going to be the Wamba Africa's going to be there. Have you heard them yet? Oh my God, they're from Ghana. And I've heard them a couple times, plus they helped us with the cleanup. They're here for a year or so. And they're doing from 6:30 to 8 tomorrow night at 162 Arnett. Is that the library, or is that down the street where Aaron lives? But anyway, they are tremendous. Stuff like that. It's just, where else in Rochester can you go and listen to a bunch of really good, talented young men beating on their drums and dancing and all kinds of stuff? Besides here, we got it all. We really do. We need some more participation. People will talk it up all the time, but to get off their rear ends and come to something is like, they're stuck.
So let's do this, because it's almost 6:30. We're going to talk on Wednesday again, because the next meeting wouldn't be until February 20th. We're going to talk on Wednesday again and make some decisions about how are we going to build membership and apply for the grant and see what happens.
I mean, this isn't the only meeting that's like this. Southwest Quad, that's the same way. I mean, when I first started going to that one a few years ago, there was like 30 people there. People from the city and like that. It keeps dwindling and dwindling. You never see anybody from the city anymore. Rotary, we're working on our Rotary. It just blows my mind that more people can't get more involved in stuff like that.
I know I probably got 50 person that I probably daily interact with through social media that I know would probably could sit right here and do some things. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
You're on. You're on. So what we need to do is prepare them for the next meeting.
Right. We definitely
On
need
February 20th. You need to be speaking with them, but we need to be able to, and some of it is this stuff that I just handed out today. It's what are the things that we've already accomplished. And this is winging it. This is not even us doing a good job of documenting everything that we do. We just do it. And so what we're realizing is, no, we got to really pay attention to all the things that we're doing. And then, as you say, market it. We need to be telling people what we're doing.
Right. And just telling people what you're doing. And the people I know they have large bullhorns somewhat in their way too. And like I say, you come and bring someone just like you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's how that's how we want to do. Just like you say, you put something out and this person shared and another person shared it. But
Right.
we're just going to do it the human capital way.
Right.
Right.
I like
right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's do that. Let's plan for building capacity at the next February 20th meeting. In the meantime, if you're able to come to that next Wednesday meeting at 5, I don't know if you're able to come to that. But I sent it out to some key people and I told them, give me that's all right. You don't have to, it's to plan for the grant. But I would still like you to look at the email that I sent, and if you think of something later and you have some suggestions for how to use the funds, it would be important for us to have like input. Like it can't just be us deciding we're going to do this. It's got to be more than, and we also need to be thinking about, is there a more productive way to have meetings and get information out? Then, yes.
Is there a reason why someone has to physically be here in order to attend the meeting? Or could you set it up where you can live stream your meeting so that somebody can log in and let's say like they had an obligation at home where they can still be home but still be physically present at your meeting?
I love it.
And we can live stream it on Southwest Tribune.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah, one thing that we're
Do
going
you
to...
know what he does? I'm sorry. He's got a newspaper, Southwest.
I know the newspaper because we have it in the back in the library. But
He's the dude.
well, all of our like newspapers and stuff like that are located back there.
He's the editor. Founder, editor.
Mm-hmm. Have you been enjoying it?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so live stream the meetings. Rodney offered.
You got quite the list going there, right?
Southwest Tribune. What's that called? As a host?
Yes.
As a host.
So, with your magazine or newspapers live streaming it, can you see the people who have logged in, or can they just be present? Like, can they just see the meeting?
Yeah, you should be able to see the people that log in.
Okay.
So you know who's logging in. So you don't invite a whole lot of people and hope they log in.
And are they like? Because even like I know that I've been here at least like once or twice, and then there's been more than 4 people.
Yeah. Yes, this is a little
Yeah.
worse than usual.
And so granted, I understand that people may have like family commitments or obligations or something that may keep them home as opposed to being here. But with that being said, is the live stream where they're able to, let's say if they're logged in on their computer at home, they can type in a comment or something, and then someone else can monitor that where they can someone can respond back or
Is it like what he does, where there's like a video that you can go back to and see it?
Well, it's like Skype, have you ever Skype?
But I don't know.
Can you record it?
You can't record. You're not recording really. You're live streaming. That means there's no record.
No,
of it somewhere.
it'll be it'll still be there, but you wouldn't be. You can't take it and say I can stick it on YouTube. It'll be Facebook. Like it'll just be on Southwest Tribune page, and you can share it all through.
And does it just stay
Facebook.
live like that? The reason I'm asking is because that might make it so, John, you don't have to be at every meeting doing this. We could have it go through the Tribune and have the meetings live streamed instead.
Now, one of the things that you're going to be having to face and hear is the acoustics here really are terrible, because I know I try to get these videos so that you can hear them, and especially people who have a low voice. We tried that last time at the Coalition for Public Education. We had one guy he's gone south for a month or so, and he called in So they had him on a computer there, but he could hardly hear what was being said, and that was a quiet room. So for a place like this, we're almost going to have a sound system. Hey!
Hi.
Hey there.
Wait a minute. This is our first meeting of the new year, right?
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Isn't it so good to still be alive?
Yes.
No, I'm not playing.
Oh, really?
You know how many people have passed away in the
Yeah.
last decade? Oh, my, and they already started.
3 or 4 days.
You know, so praise the Lord, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't we go around and say who we all are, so that
Yes. Why don't you start, sir?
My name is Rodney Brown, and I'm a founder and executive director of the Southwest Tribune newspaper at 518 West Main Street.
Very good.
and could you write all that in here, and I'll make sure that you're on the next list. Eleanor Coleman. I'm with Catholic Family Center's Youth Build program over on Lincoln Ave between West and Chili, and I'm also a member of the Rotary Southwest.
Donna Sarniecki, 1940 Community Association, member of Southwest Rotary, and a lot of different committees under the 1940 Community Association.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Bill Washington. Unemployed, looking for a job. No, yeah, that's true, but part of Neighborhood United for quite a long time. Both sides.
Yes.
So that is a true story.
Yeah.
My name's Alexis Lawrence. I'm the adult service librarian here at Phyllis Wheatley. I am in for Lori Frank-Tunis right now, who's unable to attend.
Glad to have you here. It's always a pleasure. My name's John Boutte. I'm co-chair of the Southwest Common Council, and our other co-chair is not feeling too well and had to not be here. But yeah, we need to try to, one of the things I had printed it on the back of these agendas, some of the things that we had as a plan for trying to recruit people. We had back, I'm also chair of the Southwest Common Council Education Committee, and as such we participate in the community engagement teams for the 4 schools in the Southwest that are in receivership and planning on becoming community schools. And School 19 is probably one of the ones that has their stuff together, and they're really active, wonderful principal and two vice principals, and they're doing a good job of planning to connect with the community, and I'd like to try to do something to help them get more volunteers, to help the neighborhoods that kind of feed into that school, which is primarily Plex and Swan, but also the 19th Ward. They could all stand to have more members in those organizations, and so could Neighborhoods United. So I'm hoping that we can do something where we would get volunteers from the schools, from this organization, from also there's a group that Sean Smith, who runs a gym over off of Exchange Street? Yeah, I think so. And anyways, she's trying to start up a parents group to get parents from the school district involved, so she could stand some new recruits. And so if we pool all our resources of people who need to help the school, to help the neighborhood associations, to help her parents group, get the neighborhood service centers involved, hopefully we can do some door-to-door canvassing, trying to see what the people we talk to as we go around are possibly interested in doing, and while we're at it, it would make sense to try to register people to vote so that we've got everybody, you'd like to have everybody in Rochester get out there and vote. If we did, we'd be running the county, not having trouble getting anything passed in the county legislature. So anyways, if we try to do all those things, that would, and also this organization, of course, as you can see, could stand some more
Live bodies.
live bodies. Yes. So that's one of the things we've got cooking. And gee, I thought we were going to have Dave Smith here also, but
Right.
So there were several people that we thought we were going to see here that we
Sean
didn't.
Smith's husband, who's
Yeah.
a contractor, who's working on that refinery building to renovate their space. She's, so they're connected, and she's the one that's doing the parent group, which I can imagine he's
Yeah.
connected to.
Yeah, there were some people that, Sean Smith, who is heading up that gym, she's just dynamite, very dynamic
What's
person.
her name, like SEAN, like the
Yeah.
guy?
SEAN, yeah. So she sounded like she was interested in getting involved, and her husband is a contractor that's helping renovate that space they've got over in the building where Food Link is also, or was. Are they still there?
No, Blue Link is not there.
So
They're all over on Mount Reed.
So anyways, there were a lot of people who are very active in certain groups, and if we try to pool resources, hopefully we can make more things happen.
All right, so what I'm doing is I'm taking this whole thing, which you had in an email, and I'm putting it in the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting some of the things we talked about in the minutes. I'm going to take our accomplishments, copy them, put them in the minutes, because we say here input for annual report, and I'll put this is what we have so far. What's on here. If other people think of other things, let us know. And then I don't know what to do about all the. Well, I think these projects should also be connected. That should be in the minutes. All the plan that we have. I think I have it in a more condensed version, so I'll do that. It'll take me a little longer to get the minutes out, but that way.
We got also John Curran had sent an email.
Okay, yes. By the way, here's John Curran's report. Okay, tiny homes. There's no new information to report at this time. Reach Advocacy Inc., the proponents for tiny home development in Rochester, will be holding their board meeting in the next few days, and will make critical decisions for further planning and development for tiny homes. Westside Farmers Market. They're going to host a planning session soon for its advisory board for the upcoming season. Any person interested in planning or carrying out the market's goals are welcome to contact the manager, Jackie Farrell. On communication, I listed all the documents that we handed out, the tally. This here is networking in the Southwest Quadrant and beyond. I put that together because every time I sit down with someone, I start giving them all the names of people they should know or get a hold of. I find I have to repeat myself, so now I don't. I just hand that out. I will just hand that out. And I have no problems adding people to that changing that. The list of the accomplishments and the most recent categories. I also have a list of, it is from 2011. It is so old. It is a list of all the monthly meetings that take place in the Southwest Quadrant. I'm going to pass this around. It's really kind of humorous. It's like very deep. So it was block clubs, it's everybody. PCIC, We Care, committees we don't even have anymore. But do we want to have something like that? Could that be something that I mean, it seems like the Southwest Tribune could be a home for that kind of information too. I don't know if documents can be uploaded. Or if there's a place to put some documents. But that should okay, that would have to be redone if we ever did it. I wanted to know, do people think that that would be helpful? Is to have kind of a sense of where are all these meetings? And who are the contact people?
Did you look at that pamphlet that was on the, have you seen that really nice pamphlet?
Right, that's an
that's got
excellent
a
example. That
calendar.
should have, you're right, the highlights.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
have everything in it.
Well, Rotary's
This is a pamphlet that neighborhood service centers have put out that does a nice job of covering the Southwest.
Okay, so I'm going to add that in here because that is what's that called? The
Uplift.
Southwest highlights? Oh, uplift.
Which I don't like that name. Because uplift to me means doing an uplift that we've done before with, police and other parole and all these people, and we go house to house to house. And anyway, wasn't mine to do.
Yeah, that was, yes.
Sorry.
No?
Is there a reason why like all of these organizations aren't here?
Petered out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like if they're still active contacts, have we reached out to them
did someone reach out to
to
them?
again and
Right.
say like this is what we've been doing now, this is where we're going and how we're trying to improve. We would love for you to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you have an intern that would be good? Because that is a big ass job.
Pardon me. I looked on that sheet right there, and I don't know who's going to ever go by this sheet, but I just put my updated email address on there.
Okay.
If it was not for getting that email from you, I'm going to be honest with you, this meeting would have went right over my head.
Okay.
It would have been right over my head. But thank God you sent that a week or so ago.
Mhm.
I got that. It's better than a phone call, be honest with you.
Yeah.
Cool. So thank you, and I'll change my information, which I may have
Yeah.
done already because you did send out a new email. She's very good about that.
Yeah.
But
That's
yes,
whatever
that's
you
a
were.
really, so that's something for us to be thinking about. These 50 people that you have, do any of them like to do this kind of thing? And maybe we need to wait until we have some of the people at the table and then say, look, this is what you could join.
That's the big part of it. That's part of the strategy is that once you get them here, you got to make sure that you delegate things to them, make them feel like they are important, that they're doing something, not just coming here to listen to the leaders talk. You got to make sure that you delegate them so now they feel that they're obligated. And now they're obligated, therefore, that we get more participation and we will definitely get more success. So we just got to make sure that we delegate. When we get them here, we have something for them to do. We got to be ready for that. Hey, we just like she said, we look at each other. We have our little introduction. We see the strengths in each person, and delegate them to their strength. And and a lot of people I know, they got strengths, and we'd be able to delegate them to their strength, but we need to look to have that as a priority to make sure that they have something to do when they come here, right off the top.
Or at least, do you have a list of things that you need accomplished, or things that you are working on that you can give them those responsibilities to do?
Well, I saw a great list of strategic plan. There's a lot is on that list that can be delegated out. There's also a lot of new things.
You're
also.
right.
Right.
You're right. I am going to take that list and I'm going to change how it looks. You know which one we're talking about? The categories?
Is that this one?
Yeah. I'm going to change it to look like that information will be on it, but then there'll be spaces like who would like to take this on, who would like to report back to us on this item, right? So that's how we could delegate, and it would be delegation based on what people said their interests are.
Right. That's a good idea.
Ooh, it's coming together.
So like, also you may want to like explain, like in one of the meetings, like when you're going through like this action plan, to like explain what some of these things are and how you're working on
Very
them.
good.
Only because, like I said, I've only been here like 3 times and I see this and it looks really good. But some of these things I have no idea what you're doing or how you're implementing it, and
we're
what
not.
additional things
That's the whole
This-
thing.
oh.
It's a list
of what you would like to
of
do.
what we'd like to make sure that our quadrant is focused on.
So would you more or less separate, like let's say you got those 50 people in, would your plan be to designate a group of 5 to this one specific like public safety plan or action, and then have those 5 people be able to come up with a way to branch out or reach out to whoever they need to, and then when they come back to the meeting the next month, be able to report back on what that committee or group decided.
Mm-hmm.
So you are already the public safety chair, right?
No, co-chair.
Oh, I didn't mean for that. Oh, I meant for
good,
us
that's
here.
good.
Yeah.
So you need help on getting people to do this stuff, right? And we need to find out who these people were that wrote this stuff on here, because they should be part of helping to make it happen. Neighborhood development, we don't have anyone for neighborhood development, so that would be a recruitment need, is neighborhood development. So they could look at what is under neighborhood development, and is this something you could or couldn't do?
What is,
Right, but that could be something potentially like when you're reaching out to these people, be like, you know, are the things that we're
These are our
involved in.
needs.
These are our needs. This is what we would like to see moving forward for 2020.
Yeah.
And is this anything that you might be interested in being a part of? Would you be willing to take, you know, and then once you get them here, you
Right.
essentially like put them on the
where does the tiny home come under economic development?
Economic development. Did the second sheet go around?
Right here.
I got stuck here.
All right, here you go.
Mhm.
Wow, that's excellent. Oh, so use the category called APC to recruit new members.
Well, because that would be the way, like you said, to lock them in.
Right, to
So-
lock them in. But we definitely want them to get here first so they can make
Right.
that choice
Yeah.
if they
But
want
once they're here,
once they're here.
you
Right.
can lock them in.
Lock them into groups.
to groups.
Right.
So that way, like you said, they're obligated to come back.
How
and
will they come
report.
back? They can go say Bullhead. They can go and meet with the official in City Hall who doing the Bullhead project and get more information and bring it back to us and update us, or just call them. Like just have just somebody be responsible for that and somebody be responsible for this, and bring it all together. That is correct.
If we live stream, then people could just call in their information. I mean, again, you wouldn't have to be here, and because Because that's what I see is 7 separate committees. Now you have to come to this meeting and you have to go to a separate committee.
Not necessarily. Like, if I was on a committee, I don't necessarily have to have everyone present for me to have
Right.
a conversation with them about what we've
Just
done.
the chair.
It could be, we can all be on via email, and we can have email conversations, or we can all be on a phone chat. We can do that, or we can do a video conference. Like, you don't actually have to be physically present
No,
with your
definitely not,
committee in order
definitely
to all express like what you've
Right.
come up with.
As a journalist, we was taught even before it really hit that we gotta make a change as far as making sure that we use streaming like services in order to engage with your audience. You might as well get used to it now that this was going to happen. That's what was being told to us, while we was being educated in the mass communication department before it even happened. And being that it's streaming, being why it's so important, and I can see through my analytics is that, I can reach probably like 10,000 people a day, or more, probably a whole lot more. But just to make my point is that all of that information is coming off their mobile phones. They are visiting, looking at all this information more than the desktop, and more than the other devices. They're looking at because you have the computer in the palm of your hand on your phone. That means it's on your hip, whether you are at work, at lunch, at church, no matter what, you will be able to boom. And boom. And 9 times out of 10, most people have notifications on their phones. So if they're following, where you're putting this information out, every time you come on, you're gonna bing, and it's a behavior pattern. They can't help it. They can't help it. They're gonna go and look and see, what's going on.
Yeah,
So
I see what you're talking about.
right. So we definitely that idea of live streaming it is definitely the way to go.
Or I guess do it. It depends because sometimes they'll probably be coming up during the time.
Yeah, and definitely we be honest with them. We say, hey, if you can't get here, it's no problem.
Yeah.
Join us live stream. So now you don't have excuse.
I know it.
You don't have excuse. You can be sitting there eating dinner or whatever, watching TV, and you can still interact and say, hey, I got this. I want to, put my input here and there and input.
So are we live streaming February 20th?
Well, we could.
Yes.
We
So is
could.
there a cost associated with that?
To live stream?
Yeah.
No cost. No, when you're streaming, I use this stream through Facebook and through a bunch of other digital pages that I control.
Okay. I like
And,
that. That sounds like. So I say
Right.
yes. Let's do it.
Right.
Let's give it a shot.
And then we get a little more. When we get a little more participation going on, we got a lot more people happen. Then we can continue to spread out that streaming services to another media. And then we can go to YouTube, get a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Right. Then we can get a YouTube channel and that way, and then we still increase.
And this is all stuff that can be investigated through this grant.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that can be explored.
Right. Definitely.
So all this is all these suggestions, etc., are gonna be in the minutes. I would like to propose, like every year we have, we're supposed to revisit our stakeholders. The U of R is supposedly a stakeholder, but they have not been to any meetings except one.
Go figure.
And yeah, the reason they came was because of an issue that they had to be here for. I would like to propose, Common Ground Health has been very active with us. And they did the story walk out there, and they are consistently at our meetings sharing information. I'd like to propose Catholic Family Center Youth Build. The reason I say that is because I want to have a vote. And I'm not really connected to any other organization other than my kids, through my kids. But, so I would like to propose a Catholic Family Center Youth Build. And part of that too is because under education, it talks, I think it's education, it talks about technical skills training, and that is what Youth Build does. So I would like to be one of them. Common Ground Health, Phyllis Wheatley Library, obviously you're here at every single meeting. So them having a vote, and then recommending Southwest Tribune, which is going to be helping us with marketing and leadership.
The miscellaneous man.
The miscellaneous man. So that's only 4 stakeholders, and what that is, and that so it leaves room for another stakeholder. If somebody else says, well, what about us? We could vote on that. But I just wanted to let you know what for I'm thinking of. I don't know. You're the existing chair right now. Maybe you can say, okay, fine. I don't know. Because voting wise, I don't know where we stand.
We can't vote today.
We can't vote on anything.
Which gives us good reason why we're going to have to delay the election. But if we can, get next week, we could do what we were planning on doing this week, and then the following month, I should say, we may be able to have elections. He would have been, counting that day, he would have been here 3 times, and he's already got one communications meeting from yesterday.
My Rochester Area Community Foundation meeting was one of my communications, and you attended, so.
And if he's there next week at the follow-up meeting
That's
to
right,
that,
on Wednesday.
and then he sticks around for the education committee meeting, and
There's 4.
and then
We'll have you a member in no time.
Right. It would be great if I could come in and just to every meeting, just change clothes and say, "Oh, my name is Larry." So I'd be another.
yeah, we have to, whatever we do, it's going to have to be something that the membership agrees with. I mean, we've been trying to look at, who could we get involved to be a follow-on co-chair because I'm term limited and out of here, and I've got plenty of things to do with the education committee that I would have been doing more of. So Rodney might be a good choice, but people have got to get to know him, and no matter what we think might be a way to get around the problems we've got in terms of not having people who have enough meetings under their belt and who have the time to get involved as a co-chair, and we want to try to make sure that we have a good connection with the whole community, not just the minority white community, which is what we often have at these meetings. We'd like to have a good representation.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Good today.
Yeah, we're doing great today, my gosh. It's 50-50.
Not good.
So anyways, by the March meeting, we may be in a position to vote. I guess we got to take another close look at the bylaws and see if it requires 3 committee meetings, 3 main, 90 Southwest Common Council meetings before the meeting that the election is on.
But see, at this point, I don't think it matters.
I mean,
I don't really think it matters because of who is not here now, and we're going in a direction. And I don't see anyone stepping up and saying, "Oh no, you can't do that."
Probably not, but you still want to if you have rules and regulations set up to maintain those or follow those.
Yeah.
So the attendance,
Yes.
the attendance, membership,
Does there have to be co-chairs? I mean, is that in the bylaws? Co-chairs?
Well, that's what it says in the bylaws.
it actually says leaders. Leaderships. Southwest Common Council shall elect 2 co-leaders from the voting membership in good standing at the annual meeting. We are not going to be able to do that because
This is our annual meeting.
this
No, it would have been next month, but then we needed to be able to do some planning and have a quorum here, and I don't know if we've got.
all right. Here's members
Might
in
have
good
a quorum,
standing. Members must attend a minimum of 6 meetings in a 12-month period to be considered in good standing. An attendance sheet will be maintained, blah, blah, blah. 3 of the meetings that qualify in the 6 meeting total for voter eligibility will include attendance at Southwest Common Council initiated subcommittees, which means the Communications Committee.
Or Education Committee.
At least 3 of the 6 meetings must be at the Thursday monthly Southwest Common Council. So you're here January, February, March, April. We'd be.
I'm not a Christian.
I know we were looking at
We're
you and
trying
saying,
to work-
"No,
Wait, though. You know what? Let's keep it real. Gotta keep it 100 and play around. Neighborhood United, 2006. We did a lot of work. From there to here, we did a lot of work. We cleaned up a lot of things. A lot of people do not see it. We put our lives on the line. You know, our own money, our own resources. No help, nowhere. This is
Just
the
not
truth.
documented.
Now, on top of that, you have to have 2 jobs to maintain today in today's economy. You got 2 jobs, you're working 80 hours a week. Where do you fit in? People do not, as a matter of fact, you lost the job because you want to be here at 6 o'clock. Your job just started at 4
Yep.
p.m. Let's keep it 1 billion. It's kind of hard to navigate this, this ship
yeah.
and this, this wind. So, but when you if you're really real, okay, let's talk about this 2020 now, right? It's a new year. It's been beautiful so far. In reality, the last couple days of the week. That means the trash is everywhere. Everywhere, especially in the Bullseye area. Okay, so who's cleaning it up? Neighborhood United. This is so, we can't come to here, but there's so many things that is not being talked about that is being done. Let's just keep it real. All the beer bottles and all the whatever you take, that takes time and resources, and we still paying our taxes. This is kind of crazy. And on top of that, let me throw this in there. You live next door to 2 vacant homes. One on the left, one on the right. Been vacant for over 5, 6, 7 years. They roof tearing up, everything fall in your yard, destroy your property. This is really like a real challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not complaining, I'm just sharing that. And so when you can't make these meetings because of all these other things, but rest assured, if you see me here tonight, and then when I came in, I said, and I'm unemployed. On top of all of that. So it's a challenge to make these things and stay on the right road.
Oh, yeah.
It's a challenge.
And we need that voice. We need to hear, and so it may not be able to be here at the meeting, but we need to have that as the reason why we need to look at a different way of meeting.
Let me just be honest with you. This is what really truly needs to happen. Because I was looking at all the past people who have been here. We outlast the mayors, all the city officials who run and do all they little carrots. Do not play me. I'm not just saying how I'm talking. When I do, I'm just most of. You think of your carriage, you're gonna do all this, you're gonna do all that. You come and you go, and we gotta pick a new person. But we still stuck here. You done made your money. You done sold your property, got what you want out of the deal, and you're gone. We living in a real thing, and we're still stuck in the same condition that we was.
That's a good point.
So, with that being said,
No,
David, I don't play.
you
I
are
have
like an
no
old
play.
voice. You are
have
one
no
of
time
the
to play 'cause-
originals.
Well, this is what I want to just say. And when corporations or companies come in and bait you, they got to be held accountable. They're going to keep their word. Not you get your thing and now you just dust them off. And there's nothing illegally you can do unless you had a written contract. Most times you don't have a written contract. So that's a problem right there. You're not keeping your word. You come in here, you get what you want out of it, and I end up still fitting the bill. No one talks about it. We're set up, and let me, this is how it works. We all picked off by ourselves. We're picked off by yourself. No one knows what you're going through, but you're picked off by yourself. And we don't come together as a voice and say, listen, this is what's really going on. Whether it's the school taxes, I think our taxes went up a little bit this year. You get what I mean? I didn't get any more extra for them throwing away the bread or the money or whatever, mishandling the money. So it's just real, you know. And then you have to continue to work. Even if you don't have a job, you still got to pay your taxes. Yeah, or you lose your property.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of very valid reasons why when you go into a committee, you see primarily retirees because they're not working, they can do these things, or you see a lot of fairly affluent people, more often than not white, because they have more flexibility as to what hours they go out at night. They're not working two jobs, most likely. And that is killing us in the schools because of the busing they do with kids. All parents are sending their kids to some school on the other side of town because they can get busing if they do that. And they want the safety of busing. But then they can't attend anything at the schools, you know.
And I'll tell you something. In reality, it's 2020. If we go to the Board of Economics, it works like this. It's not at our level. It's beyond our level. It's beyond our level. Someone goes to the board and they already know. Okay, how many people we're going to hire? We already know how many people live in the community. We have Social Security numbers. We know automatically. So how many people? So who are you going to hire? Like, it's not about race. It's about just the whole thing. But there is a black male. There is a white male. There is a black male, female, and then there's another. But they look at the map and say, who is going to achieve? And they do it. It's just the way it works. And so that's how they get. You get one job. I gotta get two. Know the same thing, but I gotta get two jobs. I'm not gonna get paid as much as I know. I'm still not gonna. It's the way it works, and we just no, it don't. It works the right way. Let's keep it real. It do not. And everything is against you no matter. And then the truth is, if you even dare to act like, yes, I am somebody. Oh, you is going to get worse. But who do you think you is? Not just from the people who you're working with, but the people around you too. It's crazy. It's true. I asked the guy, I said, after working 34 years, never missing a day, I brought you in like $2 billion. And I'm not good enough to work here? You want to get somebody cheaper? Okay. We'll get somebody cheaper. And it ain't working. So if we just keep it real in our neighborhoods or whatever, because if I'm going through this, believe me, other people is going through the same thing. That's why we can't come here. We're trying to focus on just trying to survive. In the reality, just trying to survive. You know, and everything is a ticket. The bus ride over there is a more expensive ticket. They don't tell us that, but it is. They just cover it up with something else, but it's a ticket. Everything, you have to create a union. A union, what do? It's supposed to protect you, right? You pay money into it, right? But if the owner and the union rep is best friends, you're gonna lose. It's the way it works. No, it don't work. It does. I'm just saying. I'm almost 100 years old. Ain't no sense of me. I'm not bullshitting you. Ain't no sense of me lying and playing no game. Let's just keep it real, because our generation is looking at us for the answers. And sometimes it takes a 19-year-old to come out and say, this is what's really going on. Because when you get old, you get set in your ways like, oh, this is the way it's going to work. No, we can do better all the way around. all the way from whoever is over us to whoever we over, we can all do better. And here's what we're doing. We're leaving this place behind for another generation. Because we all leaving. But we got to show the best we can while we're here. You know, that we're really serious about taking care of the earth and living a quality life while you're here. And TV is faking. Radio is faking. It's all about the numbers. Has nothing to do with saving your life or your soul or anything. It's just making money. It's capitalism. And our children is being fooled all the way around. It's true. 12 years old, you drinking milk, you look a little like a baby girl, we're taking advantage of it. And it's just hurting everybody. It's just terrible. We just gotta be real honest with the world and stop playing these games. We're going into a new decade. Where will we be in 2030? So we really gotta look at it. Where do we want to be in 2030? We have the right to change everything. You know, a guy like myself, been in the business for 34 years and never missing a day. Been working for Kodak, Bushline, all these places, right? What do I know? Nothing. I worked under the greatest people in Rochester. Bill Carpenter, who's head of the transit. I've been under him. I worked under him. He hired me 30 years ago. He just got promoted out with Maggie Brooks. So I'm saying, this guy got a lot of information, you know, to bring money to the table. Epic Services, hi. So I do own Epic Services now. So just so you know,
Own what?
It's called Epic Services. I started a janitorial company, but it's a multi-janitorial company where we go in and we look at the place and we tell you, you know, what we can do for you. We do it for companies because companies are getting ripped off too, you know. So I'm using my skill to bring revenue in this way.
So you should bring some marketing materials here.
Well, what we're doing right now, Epic Services, I used to own Goodwash Enterprises. But at the same time, trying to build Goodwash Enterprises, I was working for all these other companies, you know, at the same time. But I took on some companies by myself and build up some serious revenue, so which allows me to not be able to work now. But in that, I'm working with other companies who's already in business who would like to be in the cleaning business. And one is already in business, so I'm going to work with her starting February. But the other one, we're creating a website too. But here's the thing. In life, whether you go what cradle to grave, when you first start out, what are you doing? Mediocre, you're cleaning. When you get old, you retire, you want something to do, it's cleaning. It's a great industry to be in. You know, and be able to have some places where people to go. Because I just found out, when you can be very young and you don't work anymore, that's idle time. It's going to cause yourself problems. So it should be places where you could at least, you know, go somewhere and do some, you know, just that. Kill the day a little bit. Stay out of trouble. Make some little cash on the side. You know? And so that's what we're going to be about. You know? So I'm very excited, very happy about being unemployed. So.
But you're not unemployed.
Yes, I am. I'm not collecting unemployment. You're right, because I don't collect unemployment. But guess what? I will. I'll be after you.
You're not unemployed. You're self-employed.
Yeah.
Well.
Self-employed means that you still can potentially intake or maintain
Oh,
money.
that's true. But guess what? That only started November the 28th. Well, we had to
That's
get on the
almost
ball.
2 months.
Huh?
That's almost 2
Oh,
months.
that's 2 months of.
You still employed right
Wait a minute. I gotta be honest with you. We went from. Come on now. This is went from almost like 100 grand down to like 500. That's like a big jump. Like, oh my God.
You may not be making the income that you were making initially. However, you are in a job that you prefer as opposed to what you were doing in the past.
And you know, I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest with you. It's the best. It's the best part of life right now. I didn't know. I hear people saying, I gotta go to work. I feel like, oh, you know, I feel bad for you.
Right.
I say I feel bad, but I know I did. You have to do it to get where you need to get to.
And there are some people who may be going through exactly what you're going
Oh, I
through,
know.
or may have the same opinions about society and where we're going, but having those opinions and keeping them to yourself, or just maintaining your daily status quo, doesn't change anything. And so the benefit of, at least from my understanding of coming to this meeting, is that they have, hey, this is what we want to do, and if it meets your needs as far as like things that you are interested in taking care of, then yes, it is beneficial for you to be here in whatever capacity it can be, even if it's every other month or you logging in. And we essentially log in. You can sit there on your phone and log into Facebook for 5 minutes and just scroll through your news
Well,
feed.
that is a whole different subject.
And that in itself is you logging into Facebook. But you can also log into Southwest Common Council once a month and scroll through the video footage for 5 minutes.
But I do need to say this, hands on. We come to the meeting, that's one thing. Sometimes, now when you're talking about, I'm talking about, you take Neighborhood United to, you know, like ideals. I don't know, you get like an ideal. Okay, you see people throwing down trash everywhere, but it ain't nowhere to put it when you do pick it up. So we have to come up with ways of like, okay, instead of you throwing down your paper, there is not that big old gray can that you got to walk all the way up to Brown Street to put it in there. It needs to be a place where it's a smaller place where you can walk over and, or if I'm picking it up on the street, instead of me having to, because people get mad if you open a pickup stand for other people. And so you know how people is acting all funny and stuff.
So we should add that to neighborhood development.
I don't know what you're
No, you're right. You're
But I'm saying,
But it takes you saying like, this is what we're doing and these are the issues that we're having, so that this committee could say, hey, this should be a part of neighborhood development. And neighborhood development, who's ever a part of that committee, should take a look at it and work on developing a way or connecting with whoever resources they need to help you with a area that you can put trash. But it takes you coming here and be like, hey, this is what Neighborhood United is facing, and these are the issues we're having.
We have been saying this for this over a decade.
Right, and so from my understanding, I'm not saying that you haven't, but now that they are working on developing committees to address these issues, that in itself, you bringing it like, hey, this is the issue we're facing right now, and developing a bigger or wider circle to specifically say, well, yes, we are going to tackle this issue, and then that way they can work on it, as opposed to you being the lone survivor, lone ranger, and trying to do it all by yourself and taking on all that responsibility, which becomes a lot and becomes not overwhelming or a burden, but it just takes a toll because it's something that you're facing every day when you can spread that out to other people to help you work on it. My opinion.
Okay, here's the deal. I only have one more thing, and that's public safety on here.
No report.
No report, okay. So we've kind of gone through these. I'm hoping that, did you have the thing in there that shows categories? It sounds like we need to list under categories for neighborhood development, I think it is.
And you know another one too. I want to see in here that a young person can come in here and just like I said, I'm out of work and I want to go to work. We need to have something, well, you know what? We can help you. That's what it should be.
And
Doesn't that
if you
happen?
look
Let
right
me
here, there is
Give me
one
that.
that says develop job incubators with U of R using Southwest location. So that is part of economic development. So that should also be included in there when the committee gets that up.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, no. I'm the
Right.
one going to throw it out there. You put it together. I'm just going to throw it out there. But I'm saying, if you want other people to come here, young people, because guess what? You want young people to come here.
You do.
Young. So, I mean, not that you don't want old people to come here. But I'm just being honest, because young help old people to stay around a long time.
True.
So, but I'm
you
saying,
want younger people because essentially you're not going to want to do this forever.
That's right. And
You
we're not
want
going to be able to
eventually
do it forever.
retire
You might-
or
wait a minute,
you
you
know,
might. Because after you retire, you'll be like, what did I
You
just
might,
do?
but
I ain't
you
got
might
nothing
not.
else.
If you've been on it for, let's say, 20 plus years, you might want to bring a younger person on so that they can eventually pick up the reins.
Okay, let's just have something for the young.
Mhm.
Listen, we can help you get jobs. If someone has to go out to, just like, what's the new place that always, what is the company now that Indeed, I think they saying if you're looking for a job, you can go to Indeed or whatever the case should be. But even Indeed, just like Lyft, I think there's another driving company, Lyft, and what is the other? Uber. But did you know what? It sounds like they taking over the market, right? But guess what? There is enough room for other people to get involved with another company. You understand?
Mhm.
So if I said, okay, we need a job. You know what?
Thank you.
Lyft may not hire you. I mean, maybe you did mess up, but your license is good now. So we might take you on. It's just, we just have to have a way to help even the older people who don't want no job. They just want to talk to people.
On some things that we need to, I think you should be here every week.
Come back.
You don't have to represent the library. Where do you live in Wayne?
Brighton.
Brighton. Well, we don't hold it against people who live in Brighton. You can come and participate because you've got a good view on things. We'd love to have you here.
Very helpful.
Yeah. And one thing I hope you can do is, have you talked to Andy Wintercorn since the last meeting?
Who are you talking about, that lady that sat over there?
No, Andy.
Andy, the guy.
Francis,
Oh, you're
yeah,
talking
the
about
guy
Andy
over
right
here,
with
yeah.
The store.
Hmm?
I don't think so.
Why don't you make sure that he's part of Neighborhoods United Neighborhood Association? You know, we really need to try to. I mean, I love having you. You've been here since before I was
Right.
part of the
Right.
Southwest Common Council.
You know why? Listen, and what broke my heart, company, we got buildings tore down.
Oh,
for
yeah.
them. We had signatures, and I got pictures. I was even sick and almost to the point of losing my life, but
Yeah.
I still worked very diligently to get these buildings tore down and get new buildings built. And all of a sudden, it came to the right to sign the contract, and you pull the rug right from under me. And from that day, I tell you, it took everything I can not to call you, but a child of God. But I did. But I did. And
Well,
so-
anyways, whatever we can do to help build up Neighborhoods United, what I was talking about a few minutes ago, where we're talking about trying to recruit people for neighborhood associations, and there are all of these associations.
I'm adopt you to come on over to come on over there and talk and knock on the door. Like, come on, you can help us to build
Yes.
this community. Because I'm just telling you, you got the voice. You can even be mayor, city of Rochester. Hey, get your start right here in the Neighborhood United. Yeah. I'm from Brighton, but we're going to change things in Neighborhood United. Over in the Bull's Head area. Oh, and it's I got to do
I
the
used
same.
to work over in both
Wait a minute. It is.
I know.
Well, two things about Bull's Head that I'm hearing. Every time I tell people, even in the church where I go and they going for a long time, they say, that's a bad neighborhood.
It's really not.
Wait, I live there. They telling me. I said, no, it's not. I said, I lived there for 30-something years. It's not bad. And I said, and they was like, oh, yes, it is. I said, this is what happened. You messed it up and you left. That's what really happened. And so, but with the new things that's going on in there, they done tore down. To be honest, they done tore down. Well, they built a lot of houses over there.
I know.
They built
took
a
down-
lot of houses over there, and they take it
old
down.
job.
All of OBT. They take it down. They take it down everything. Even the White House. The White House that's on Kensington. They're ready to slay that. But I heard they're going to be taking down all of the Mama Kim's all of that, they're gonna be, that's gonna be
Yeah,
gone, ready
there's
for new
just
development.
2 buildings are gonna be left.
Yeah. So that to me, and I'm gonna tell you, people died waiting for this change. These people in the grave was like, I'm just holding on. They couldn't wait, and the world couldn't contain them anymore. They out of here for a long time, 30 years ago, 30 years plus ago.
Mhm.
They've been waiting. So that's why when I sit here and tell you, when I sit here and tell you 30 years ago this was coming this way, 30 years ago, we ain't got all that much time to be talking about 30 years. Another 30 years. So it's true.
Yes. Okay.
I hear you, and probably a lot more people. We all have problems, especially in the communities that we live. Especially being African American too. I understand your plight as far as structural racism that has definitely decimated for a lot of people of minority descent to have home ownership and things of that nature that give you wealth and a good job to raise a family and to be able to be out here. But just like you said 30 years ago, those desperate times that we still see now, 30 years ago and beyond that, the early 50s into the 60s, those times are even more desperate. When people like me and you African Americans and just poor white people living in these neighborhoods, it was more desperate living in these neighborhoods. So they had to do something, and they had to do something. And the reason why they were in the position that they were in, because places that helped them, so like social service and places, they wanted them over there. There was a red line over there and segregated over there to be over there by zip code. But what came out of that? What came out of that neglect? What came out of that structural racism? Was a unity that came out of it, where people got together and said, "Hey, we want upward mobility. We want community development. And nobody gonna give it to us, so we got to do it ourselves." So those community members came together, white, black, churches. All of them came together through the 50s and the 60s, organizations like Swan, Willie Lightfoot, and people like that. You had a lot of activists, a lot of people in here, activists, people that live in these neighborhoods because they couldn't live nowhere else.
Right, I got you.
And they had a lot of activists, and by 1955, Dr. Freddie Thomas came down here in 1952. He was going to Albany Medical School. And he said when he got down here in 1952, he said when he saw Rochester, it was like heaven. It reminded him of the books that he read as a kid from the Harlem Renaissance, when there was black mobility, black businesses, the flourish of the arts and culture, when it was the neighborhoods were flowing because they had to build up their own community. And that what Rochester have took it to on Jefferson Avenue. You had stores, bakeries all over the east side. Dan's Restaurant, Bailey Tavern, Smitty Birdland. You had clubs, you had things, and you had all these things going on, which is documented history.
I know.
Because of all that, because people came together and organized the community.
And they came together and burned it down.
Well,
Yeah.
No.
That's why it looked the same way it did since they burned it down.
They came together and burned it down in '64.
No, whenever the last thing they had a problem, whenever they
1960. You talking about the 1964 riots?
We was back in Ohio.
You talking about 1964 race riots?
Whenever they had the problem and they burned the stuff down.
In Rochester?
Yeah.
The 1964
It used to be pretty, nice, and then the people get upset about something. I wasn't here, and they burned it down, and it's been a struggle. That part has been a struggle.
I don't think it's too much that happened. What brought the city down was pretty much suburbanization. That's when you start building these highways, these throughways out to the suburbs. That's what happened when everybody flew out to the suburb and start living out there. So you take the tax base, you took the money out of the community when everybody started going to the suburb. And you know what happened? You know what happened after the 1965 Civil Rights Act passed, where you could live where you want at, and a lot of black professionals left out of the community. So therefore now you have a group of people who doesn't have the good jobs, who doesn't have that. So you got a tax base now that's decimated now. So therefore, you don't have the business community no more. You don't have the people who have the job, the lawyers that would say that we're going to have an NAACP organization so we can help with the school district, help with education. We didn't have the strong neighborhood organizations that we once had anymore, because it was like a brain drain, they call it in college. Everybody was leaving and going to another part of Monroe County. You know, and that was the problem. So now, what Mayor Warren is doing, she want to see Bull's Head be the western gateway to downtown. She want to knock down the inner loops and say everybody's house gonna have the same property value. So we gonna knock that down because the inner loops was separating it. You know, so we are doing things to. She has a plan to do things to should I say reverse those effects of structural racism and segregation and brain drain that happened. But what we haven't done, the iron is hot now. We are in the right place as far as leadership to want to now take care of these blighted areas. But where we're at now is that we got to step up our organizing skills. We got to be those Woolly Foot. We got to be those Constant Mitchell. We gotta be those Walter Cooper. We gotta be those giants that when they were our age back in the days, who used to walk these streets, those Freddie Thomas, and organize these people and search for upward mobility and match everybody's strength to helping the community go upward. So that's where our problem lies now. I think that we in a good place politically. We are not in a good place organizing the truth. We have people that Minister Florence took down the whole Kodak by making them employ people. You know, I mean, they have to employ so many thousands of people, and then that wasn't enough for him. So he said, we just don't want to just get them hired because y'all putting too much of them in low-level jobs as custodians and things like that. So what we gonna do? We gonna morph, fight into L-Trex industry. So now we want contracts. So we'll do the hiring. We want Kodak to give us contract, Bosch and Lomb to give us contract. So now we have morphed into a hiring industry that we hiring people ourselves now because we getting contracts to build these things that y'all are doing in your companies. So we have to think more of a community organization. These were strong people in the community, and we got to be those people. We got to pick it up where they left off. We got to be strong organizer. I think that what we are complaining about now, I think we got it too good. Because because when I look through the window of history, because when I look through the archives of Dr. Freddie Thomas and Mitch Thomas, which I'm over in, and I got a window into what it's been like. I got a window in all the key players. So I see what went on. So I know it's an organizing problem that we have. So that's what we have to do. We have to get together and become organizers, strong organizers, not just us, but all the institutions, neighborhood association in the Southwest Quadrant, because all of them was organized together to make this happen. So, and like I say, I think that we are in, the reason why we're not organizing because it's too good for us right now. Oh yes, there's a lot of problems. But as you see the problems back then we are living in Candyland, utopia.
It don't feel like Candyland.
It don't feel like it. So I guarantee you back then it didn't feel like that. But that didn't stop them. But my point is that didn't stop them from organizing, from looking for community development and upward mobility. So this we got to get back to. You know, get back to when all the jazz artists and big people wanted to come to the 19th ward, want to come to Joseph Ave, want to be around this historic neighborhood. You know, they want to be around these historic neighborhoods that's so blighted right now. So we got to become better organizers. So I think that's my soapbox for today.
I want to say this, and this is the God honest truth. This is 2020, and I've been in this circle
facing and things that need to be addressed. And that's a separate, not necessarily form of organizing, but it's a separate way of being a part of a committee or resource, because you're bringing your knowledge and expertise about your specific field to the situation so that somebody else may be able to pick up and carry the ball and say, this is where we need to run to.
Well, And organize is easy. It's first thing you got to do, which is our most important component of our problem, is that we got to get people here to the table. See, once you get people here to the table, once you get them here, now this way the organizing, you organize without saying you organizing. Mm-hmm. You delegate. You delegate duties out to them where you trying to get accomplished. Now you got an organization. And now you got an organization where each body is doing a function. Now you got a assembly line going on, like the Ford assembly line, bringing cars down the line. So everybody going and got to put their part on the car. Mm-hmm. So when everybody put their car on the part, as we say that this strategic plan, once this is finished and done right, our neighborhood should look different. So if everybody go and put it and handle their part and bring it back to the table, put the car in the part, then we should have a better neighborhood by our strategic plan. So that's our thing, is first to get them to the table, and which I know we can do through organization. And how do I get them to the table? Is that I have that skill because of my, should I say, my educational background and my career as a journalist. I spend my time sitting down, talking to people, networking people, you know what I mean, dealing with organizations, doing those type of stuff, you know what I mean? So I know, and my background, you know, when I went to college, I double majored in mass communication, but most important, sociology, and with a minor in political science. My further education extends to Cornell University, where I studied under James Turner, who was one of the best organizer, in America. He's a professor emeritus, and he's a professor emeritus for African American politics and social policy, and he's the founder of the John Henry Clock at Cornell University. He does the thing, Eyes on the Prize. You see every Sunday come on PBS, Eyes on the Prize, things of that nature. So I know a lot about organizing, and I know that to organize, first we had to do is get a group together. And once we get a group together, we delegate the duties out. Once we delegate the duties out, we put the parts on the car. And that's what we have to do. But you are an organizer also, because what I see in you is that you came in here with a whole bunch of problems. And when you came, no, you came with a whole bunch of problems that you wanted to say, whether it's yours or all of ours, not just yours. But you
But it was problems that
you solved it. You solved it. You became what? Self-employed. You solved it. You know, you solved that problem. So what you want to do with that problem? You became self-employed. I hope that you can network with people so one day you can give some people that's in your position a job. Mm-hmm. So, use what you have been through to become an organizer to help others. So maybe you should be on the job development, the head that, or somebody who had your spirit to head that, because you know what it's like to be that. That's where your passion is at. Because today, so you would be delegated to be that. If you wasn't over United, you would have been here. If I say, hey man, you need to be the head of this, because you feel that passion. So, when people come here, and that's why I sat here and listen, because when you listen, then you realize the person's strength, because what they care most about is the issue they most understand. When I come here, when we come in, we're gonna have a bunch of people here, and they're gonna have a bunch of ideas. Do they complaining? They never been here before. They come and be like, well, I saw this, and I saw this when out there, I saw this. Our strategic plan might gonna get a whole lot longer once we get members. It's gonna be a whole lot better. But what they're gonna do is do the same thing you do. And what we gotta do as leaders is listen. Just like she did, and she counteract. She said, well, maybe you can do this. Well, maybe you can do this, and maybe you can do that. And once we listen, we come together, we gel, and then we put together, should I say, a real strategic plan, and we can make things happen. But as we can get this done on the paper by delegating this out, then I think that we have a whole lot better community. When I looked at it, I told Ellen, no, I like this. You know, this is very good. You don't miss nobody. Arts and culture, children's family and health, economic development, school, neighborhood development, public safety. We're not missing anything. We want to get the churches involved and things of that nature. We're not missing anything what we need to do to make this successful. Only thing we're missing is to get the fire under us. You know, and that's the only thing we're missing in. And so my closing that, I look to be working hard starting Friday, and from on Monday, the next week, getting people to say, I need to see you here in February. I need you to the table in February. So next time we come here, we're gonna have a lot more people and a lot new faces So therefore, we can start putting things together. And once we start putting things together, we can still have that same passion. I want that same passion you have, and hopefully you could contend and have that same passion you have, because just with us today, imagine we could get everybody thinking the same way, everybody feeling the same way, and that's what it's all about, getting everybody charged up. So, without saying anything more, I will say this to you, my brother. Think about this when you go to Neighborhood United. Think about making everybody want to be able to put parts on the car. That's what you want them to do, put parts on the car. You want to organize your crew. You want to delegate this service out just like we do here. And I want to help you get more people on your board. I want to help everybody in the neighborhood association in the Southwest get more people on their board. I want you to use the Southwest Tribune newspaper. I'm going to give you my card. So, and so you can tell me, how can I help you do what I'm trying to do here with Eleanor and John? So, and I want you to pass the message on to people that you may know, because I don't know everybody like you may know everybody on your side of town, and let them know that they can use me as a resource. So let's work together, you know, and you can always come down by my office. We can chat.
Oh, where's your office? It's on your card?
West Main.
518 West Main.
Oh, you said, oh, okay.
Right by King.
Oh, okay.
So we can chat and we can get things
definitely.
together.
They ain't got nothing to do. All day.
Thank you so much. Really.
You just don't know. But I'm enjoying it. Okay.
Well, thank you very much, folks. I think we're off and running, and
Shame the devil.
Well, they come back.
we've got the right man here.
Yes, and definitely keep in contact, Ms. Brighton. I mean, you can definitely do a lot to help us. Definitely. I definitely love your intellect. Definitely, quick on your feet. Awesome.
Well, thank you for sending out that email. And I'm there having a business meeting, a conference call, right? And after this great conference call, I look down at the clock. Oh my God, I'm gonna miss the meeting. and I rushed right over.
Thank you.
Well, we're delighted you came. It
Yep.
really added the extra bit we needed to the meeting to
Yep.
And
make it lively.
I don't want to